This is the story of a man who refused to back down, who stood his ground against impossible odds, and who saved his team at the cost of his own life. John Chapman, a U.S. Air Force combat controller, would go down in history as one of the most courageous warriors of the modern era. His actions on a freezing mountaintop in Afghanistan earned him the Medal of Honor, but more than that, they cemented his legacy as a true American hero. March 4, 2002, Operation Anaconda. The battle for Takur Ghar, a towering, enemy-infested mountain in eastern Afghanistan, was about to become one of the deadliest encounters of the war. Chapman was embedded with SEAL Team 6, tasked with securing the peak. But as their MH-47 Chinook helicopter approached the landing zone, disaster struck. A storm of bullets and RPGs erupted from the ridgeline. In the chaos, one of their teammates, Petty Officer Neil Roberts, was thrown from the aircraft. Stranded and surrounded by enemy forces, Roberts's chances of survival were slim. But Chapman and the SEALs refused to leave him behind. They regrouped, rearmed, and prepared for the near-suicidal mission to bring him home. Minutes later, they returned to Takur Ghar, landing right into the teeth of enemy fire. Chapman was the second man off the ramp, charging into the darkness, his rifle up, his mind locked on the mission. The enemy was waiting. From fortified bunkers, they unleashed a deadly barrage. The team scattered for cover, but Chapman didn't hesitate. He saw the enemy's main position, a bunker dug into the mountainside. Without thinking twice, he sprinted forward, closing the distance, and opened fire. Bullets ripped through the air, but Chapman kept going, forcing his way through knee-deep snow, engaging enemy fighters at close range. Then, something incredible happened. Alone and outnumbered, Chapman stormed the bunker, killing 2 enemy combatants in brutal close-quarters combat. His team pushed forward, but the overwhelming fire forced them into retreat. In the chaos, they lost sight of Chapman. Wounded and bleeding, he fought on, but the SEALs, believing he was dead, were forced to withdraw. Most men would have succumbed to their injuries, not John Chapman. Against all odds, he regained consciousness. With no backup, no escape, and no chance of survival, he did the unthinkable. He fought. Alone on the mountain, Chapman continued engaging the enemy, drawing their fire and holding his ground. He knew what was coming. He had minutes, maybe seconds, before they overwhelmed him. But his mission wasn't over. A quick reaction force was inbound, and Chapman made sure they had a fighting chance. Through sheer willpower, he held his position, taking out enemy fighters until his last breath. When the dust settled, John Chapman had given his life to protect his brothers. For years, the full extent of his heroism remained unknown. But later analysis of gunship and drone footage confirmed what really happened. John Chapman had fought alone, wounded and surrounded, until the very end. In 2018, he was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor, the first U.S. Air Force airman to receive it since Vietnam. He wasn't just a hero, he was the definition of bravery. Courage isn't just about fighting, it's about refusing to give up, even when the odds are impossible. John Chapman didn't just sacrifice his life, he chose to stand when no one else could. His story isn't just one of war, it's a reminder of the unbreakable spirit of a warrior.
He sacrificed himself for the QRF that came in.